let's make some rust. Hey guys, while I'm editing about 60 hours of footage of the huge lava project which I did like a month ago, so that one is not ready yet for you. So meanwhile, let's use this time and allow me to teach you how to make these awesome looking rust effects on your miniature without using any expensive product or hobby tool. So get ready and let's go to the video. So first step, what we're gonna do is to prime our model dark brown. Now this is important as the dark brown is the base layer for any rust. So we'll be basically building up the layers. And the very first step after priming is for you to grab an old battered flat brush and we'll start stippling medium brown on our miniature. Now there are really no rules how to do that. You just grab a brush and stipple it basically everywhere, but make sure you will do the stippling pattern so we have this uneven almost like a spattering effect on the miniature. Now the third step will be sponging and stippling the gunmetal color on our miniature, and for that I'm using these sponges. Now this is just a regular car sponge I got from a dollar store, and this is the one which I bought in model shop. So the way how you do it, you just tear a little chunk of sponge, dab it into your color. Now few times dip it into your dry palette and then apply it straight to the model. So you will apply this uneven metal effect on your miniature, and the target is for the metal color to portray on various spots on the model. So we are creating this illusion of this model being heavily rusted and the original metal color is coming out only on a few places. Now next step is we're gonna switch into oil colors for a bit, and we're gonna grab a regular orange, bright orange oil color and mix it on our oil palette. So apply a bit of thinner, and I recommend you to use odorless thinner, not the regular one. A, it's much less smell, and B, the solvents in there are not too aggressive. So once you have it mixed, just apply it sporadically on your miniature and apply it whenever you feel like it's being rusted the most. Now during the process, if you notice, it looks atrocious, and in this case you have just to trust the process, because once it's dried it creates this awesome looking, almost like a powdery bright orange which resembles rust. And give your oil color a bit of time to dry. I recommend to leave it overnight. So come next day until the oils are fully dried and you can proceed into the next step, which is again back to sponges and applying stippling light effect with a little bit lighter shades of metallic colors. And this time try to apply it only on the highest raised edges of the model, and this time I'm applying it to the head and just the sides of the shoulder pads and weapons. Now the next step is to do the lights. I chose red, so I grabbed the contrast paints ball red and I mix it 1 to 3rd with the snakebite leather to create a little bit of darker shade, and apply it on all the lamps on the model. Once you're done, it's time for pigments. My most favorite thing about the hobby making period are the pigments, because pigments make everything better. As you can see, this is no exception. So grab your pigment of choice. In my case, it's this greenish yellow, and grab an old brush and apply to the base. Now the frequent mistake I've noticed on the model makers, what they do is they somehow disconnect the feed from the environment. What makes it better is to connect these two elements. That means that once the feed is touching ground and environment, in our case, it has to be dirty, right? Because This model is stepping on the ground, so it gets into contact with the ground. So that means you have to apply pigments on the feet as well. And to make it even better, apply the pigments on a few spots on the model. Now guys, you can absolutely stop at this step. This model is perfect the way it is. However, this was a huge commission. I've been doing a whole year of 2023. It was a literally bazillion points of orcs for my client. And the whole team of these orcs were that this particular orc army were from the planet Urk Prime 236. I made it lore myself. However, they were using a blue plasma just to make them a little bit different. All their skin is a bit paler, and the reason for this is that these orcs are fighting eternal war on a planet, and this planet is covered in rain, and it rains all the time, so they see no sunlight, so their skin is damp and a little bit pale, and this is the reason why everything is rusted. And the orcs are using blue plasma. Why, you might be asking? And the reason is, I don't care, it just looks cool. Rule of cool is the #1 rule in model making and in art in general. So I live by this rule. This rule is awesome. The next step is to grab an airbrush, a white color. I recommend you to use white from Pro Acryl. This is the best white color this world has ever seen, like by far. It's just, you can load it up from the bottle straight to the airbrush and it's just smooth as butter. So I applied it to the exhaust, or basically everything what I wanted to glow. And the very last step is to apply the blue plasma effect via airbrush. Now the color of choice which I use this, sadly I don't have it in this studio, I have it in my other studio, so Mike, editor, please show us the color, but it's basically something like a pale turquoise contrast paints, and I'm not thinning it, I'm just loading in the airbrush straight from the bottle and apply it on the spots where we did the white, and do a little bit of OSL, and that should be it. Now guys, before we do the full preview, I kindly ask you to subscribe. Every subscription, every like, every comment helps my channel grow, and I'm greatly appreciating it. So again, thank you very much for watching, and without further ado, let's do the preview of the final effect. So guys, I'm glad you watched my video, and if you enjoy it, why don't you watch this one or this one? I'm looking forward to see you in the next video. Until then, bye!